We good? All right. Here we go.
Tony, when you watch Zeke Elliott now, you as a running backs coach, what do you see that stands out about him more than anything else? What sets him apart?
Like, I've said this before. I think that his complete game, his ability, what he does when the ball's not in his hands. If you watch him go and block on the perimeter, you watch him pass protect. He's a force to be reckoned with out there too, and I think the thing that stands out the most, like I said, is his entire game is he's playing at a high level.
Was Saturday as big a 5 carries in a row, 7 carries out of 11 plays in that one drive? Was that just a challenge to him too? I mean, how did you approach that from the standpoint of putting the team kind of on your back?
Well, it wasn't that wasn't the. That wasn't the deal. So hey, let's put it on your back. I mean, that was the flow of what we were doing, and again, he's a highly competitive guy. No, I mean, he's always asking for the ball. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's always asking for it. But I mean, I think the same could be held true for TD and Taylor Decker and offensive line. This is what your job is. This is what we called. Go execute the plays that we've called, and he does that. And he is he's a highly competitive player, highly competitive individual. So to give him the ball that many times it's not like we're asking him to do something out of the norm. It's something he'd want to do.
Third row right here, Andy. Coach, as Zeke continues his climb up the record books, have you noticed a difference in attitude as far as him running the football? And has that kind of changed your guys' mentality as far as the game?
No, Zeke's pretty consistent, and I think that's the one thing that really makes him special. I think if you were to go through the course of time, and if you were to look at players, if you want to use the term great players, there's a consistency about them. And it's not the ebb and flows and the highs and lows and on the roller coaster, if you will. He's a consistent guy, and whether it's game 1 against Virginia Tech to game 10, he's been pretty consistent in how his approach has been. But again, that's what makes him different than a lot of people. There aren't the highs and the lows. When he comes to play, he comes to play, no matter who it is and where it's at.
Front row, Doug.
I think Zeke's averaging, 22 carries per game.
Okay.
Workload for any running back, but specifically with him, how much do you monitor that? How much does that impact the back through the course of the season? And do you like where you're at with Zeke's workload going into these last couple games here?
Yeah, knock on wood, it's a good question. He's still probably playing a few more reps than I would like him to play, and that's on me. That's strictly on me, not Coach Meyer or Ed or anybody else. It's hard to pull him out of a game, though. When you're looking at a guy that I'm biased, mind you, but you're looking at a guy that I believe is the best player in the country. It's hard for me to pull him out because I'm like, God, keep him in the game, because he has to be accounted for wherever he's at. What you do, we have to be cognizant of what's going on with him as far as his body and his health, and particularly throughout the body of practices and throughout the course of the week. Had to be very cognizant of how we're using him, how much I'm running him. But he's pretty good about telling me kind of how he feels, especially throughout the week, how he's feeling and things of that nature. So I feel you have to back some things off of him and limit some things that he does throughout the course of the week. We do. But yeah, that's definitely something we got to continue to keep a hold on.
I know you've called it Tote Nation since the start, right? Since you got here.
I called it.
Isn't Tote Nation? Isn't that?
Yeah, the guys came up with that one, though.
Yeah. What is Tote Nation?
Carrying the ball, carrying the football. Ohio State Nation, Buckeye Nation. So that's something that I think actually our intern Sean Buckley was talking about it to our players, and they got these wristbands made up that we wear, and that's something I actually think Mike Weber came up with it. And that guys kind of took to it, and that's something they've kind of taken to. So I let them run with it. I'm not that. I don't have that much creativity in my mind.
We got Zone 6. We got some other.
Yeah, those are creative guys. I'm boring.
Front row, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Mike Weber, how is his health? And at this point in the season, given not wanting to burn a red shirt at this point, how reluctant would you be to play him?
Well, his health is good. He's doing fine. He's at 100%. He's looked really well running around throughout the course of the past few weeks. And I don't want to say who we would pull a red shirt. I'm not. That's not completely my call. I mean, I know this. if Mike Weber's ever needed to help us win a football game, and he's there to do that, and he's capable and willing to do that if need be. So, we'll cross those bridges when we get there. But if need be, to win a game, we would definitely use him, as if we'd use anybody else.
And what are your just general impressions of the Michigan State defense?
Extremely well coached, really good players. Play at a high rate they have for a long time. It's not like it's new to them to be having the successes that they've had. They've been good for many years, and this is the same type of defense. Once again, they're a very good football team and a really good defensive unit.
And last question is fourth row left, Eric. You talked about how Zeke is, in your opinion, the best player in the country, and you have all this talent behind him. Is there, with how many carries he's getting, is there kind of a balance as far as like you want to get some of these guys, young guys, touches to prepare for next year in case Zeke goes to the NFL? How difficult is that balance?
When you're 10-0, that it is what it is, and again, we're here to win football games, and by any means necessary, and our guys in that room, they know that, so we do have those conversations. Guy, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, and guys have bought in, and I think that's what you get when you have an unselfish football team, and you have a culture that's been built where guys, they know their roles, they accept the roles that they're in at that time. Doesn't mean they're not striving to get better, but everyone's got a role. And at this juncture, 10 weeks in, as we're getting to week 11, their roles, they know what their roles are. And again, if need be, we'll do what we need to do to win football games. And so the guys in my room, and I would like to say across the football team, they kind of taking heed to, okay, here's what I got to go do. And when I'm called upon to do something different, and my job description changes, then I'll change accordingly.